Is reduced, but the grit in your eyes is bruised. So break us, make us damage. Yeah, savage, but fuck you, we manage. If it's a war to make us incapable, we're invincible, that's inescapable. Achieve the unthinkable bar. Refuse to be the man by your past. So now don't stand up and raise your glass. For the homeless man.
Concertblogger.com. Today we're here with British rapper. Well, I guess not rapper's not the right word. I guess I heard you say rebel street music is really what you do.
That was the genre I would put it under. Yeah, it makes it easier for everyone.
Cool. You know, I would call you a wordsmith in a way. I love the way you put things together. I love the way the ideas that come out of the things that you say. And I think it's really kind of cool that you use a band too. A lot of rappers are all about just using tracks and rapping over tracks and stuff, and you have a whole band that kind of comes out and does your thing with you.
Yeah, I'm just terrified of computers. I'm just a total technophobe. I like having a band. I think it's nice. It adds a nice vibe live. I like traveling with people as well. So it's cool.
Cool, awesome. Well, welcome to New York. Most people are going to know you from your appearance last year on the Warped Tour. You actually had a leg injury for like the whole Warped Tour last year. What happened with that? What was the story?
About a week before I was meant to leave, I played a gig in London, and I thought it would be an awesome end to the show if I kind of jumped off of the top floor, and it would be majestic and really like a wonderful thing. And it didn't work out how it was meant to in my head, and I fell on my leg and crushed it in like 3 places. I finished the show. But,
of course, the show must go on.
The show must go on, and then the next day I was like, I really need to go to hospital, and they kind of said, look, you ain't going on tour, you need to stay here for like 6 months in bed, and I was like, this is just not going to happen. So I got myself a wheelchair and had a great team behind me, and we soldiered on and managed to do the Warped Tour, and it was fun actually in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it kind of shows that you a little bit of a different side of your performance and your art, in that you're doing it without moving, without maybe rolling around a little bit, but that just changes the whole thing up and puts it a little bit more perspective on the rest of the package that you have and everything else that you have.
Yeah, I mean, it actually made me like learn new skills. Because I'm used to being very energetic and like running around, and that's kind of how I control the room. And so to have to do it just from what comes out of my mouth kind of made me, it made me learn new skills. It was a good learning experience. Plus I got to like learn how to spin and stuff. So it was 2 things I learned.
There you go. You never know when that might come in handy sometime in the future. Yeah. How did you first fall in love with music? What was your, I know you have a really interesting backstory that you were on your own at 13. Yeah. And but what brought you to music? I mean,
that was really the first time where my music was kind of always around me, and I always kind of liked it, but when I was, I was living on the street, and I got taken in by a group of punk rockers, and really they were Spanish, they spoke very broken English, and the only thing we really had in common was that they would play these tapes, and the lyrics just kind of connected with me in a way that bands who were around at that time really weren't talking to me, and they were putting on these tapes of music from before I was born, and it was like it just became my music, and it instantly became like I just related to it so much, and I just studied them and studied like every line that was sung, and punk rock was really like my first love,
Mm-hmm. What kind of bands inspired you? Who inspired you? What kind of bands were you listening to?
I mean, for me, like I've always been inspired by the same things. It's always been everyone from The Clash through Public Enemy, right back through kind of Woody Guthrie, Jimi Hendrix, John Lennon. Those artists where it's more than about just the music, where they're actually kind of trying to change the world, and they're speaking these kind of eternal truths about peace and love and humanity and people being equal. And when it's like, to me, a great song kind of takes someone's heart. It makes you move your legs and dance, but it also makes you think, and if it can make you then take action, then it's an incredible song. And so I don't really think it's that there's like one genre or one artist or one band. It's kind of like, that's why I say rebel street music, because to me they all come from the same philosophy, and so that's what really gets me going.
Yeah, I know. Like you have the song "London Is Burning," and you know, and you say the Clash is in there. I was like, oh, London Burning. That's the first thing I thought of. But
yeah,
it's a different vibe. But at the same time, it's the same thing, just 40 years later.
But this is it. I think that those same frustrations coming from kind of working class communities, and when you come from like, you know, poor places essentially. The kind of frustrations and the anger is the same, and that's why I say like eternal truths, because I think also realizing that we're worth more than this, and realizing that people are worth more than we're told we are, is also an eternal truth that I believe a lot of artists have kind of tapped into and should continue to.
You have your latest single. It has an angry youth vibe. It's called "Homeless Romantic," and it features Adam Lazzara from Taking Back Sunday. Tell us about the song and about how the two of you got together on that.
The song is like, you know, it's about how somebody becomes homeless, and it's, you know, I really wanted to show the humanity in it. I didn't want it to just be about like statistics and the amount of people who are homeless, and I wanted to show that, look, there's external reasons as to why people become homeless. It's not just like drugs, it's not because they're bad with money. There's like so many different factors as to why people actually end up on the streets. And I also wanted to add, like I say, like the humanity back into it, and the feeling back into it, of it not just being a sob story, but you know, the thing that I remember most about my time on the streets was kind of the camaraderie and the unity amongst all the street kids, and how we kind of got along and created our own lives. And so when we was in the studio making it, we were like looking for someone to sing the hook, and like a lot of bands' names got thrown around, and someone put on a tape of Taking Back Sunday, and I was like, I believe this guy. I think he's like genuine, and straight away like I heard real pain in his voice, and I was like, okay, that's dope. I believe he's genuinely angry. And so we sent the tape to him, like not expecting to hear anything back, and then a week later he like flown in and was recording it. And it was
wow,
cool,
that's crazy. It's awesome. A week later he's there doing it.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, he just kind of, you know, made that connection to what he's really got going on. You know?
Yeah, and it was nice, because I think, you know, a lot of people who get asked to do guest vocals generally get asked to do it for bands who sound a lot like them.
Exactly, exactly. To have something that's completely different.
Exactly. We both were kind of coming out of our comfort zones, and it was nice.
Yeah. Okay, great. You have a new album dropping in March 24th in Europe and 25th here in the US, named The Deep End. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
The Deep End is an album that I spent many months kind of putting together and getting right, and I'm super excited to have it out. We've got some great guests on it. There's, you know, Adam Taking Back Sunday. I've got John from Goldfinger, Roger from Less Than Jake, Max Yahoo, various kind of artists. It's a very eclectic record. But what I really tried to do when we sat down initially was to kind of, we wanted to ignore all the trends and ignore all the fashions and ignore what was hot right now, and we decided instead what was a much better idea was to try and create trends and trying to create our own fashion and have people follow us, and, you know, so we can lead rather than following what's hot at the minute. And I think we did that, and the idea was to take the kind of lyricism and storytelling and political bite of hip hop and mix it with like the anger and the raw energy of punk rock, and that was kind of the philosophy behind the record.
Good, cool. You know, it's so funny you said that, because one of the follow-up question was who did you work with on the album, and you know, you already get into that. The song "Life Is Poetry" is just awesome. I think it's just such a great song. Tell us about it, and in particular the really great video. I guess it kind of goes along with the same trends that we've been talking about here, about, you know, life and, you know, changing circumstances and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, there's kind of an overall running theme throughout my music, and that is of fighting back, and, you know, an underdog kind of fighting back and reclaiming what is rightfully theirs. And Life Is Poetry is, you know, along a similar vibe. I remember we recorded it in, we was in like a hotel in Orange County, and the guests kept on, it was like 4 AM, and the neighbours kept on banging on the walls, and people kept on complaining about us, and so we took like just a little tape recorder out to a tunnel at the end of a golf course, and just recorded it there at 4 AM, and it was awesome, with John Feldman on the vocals. And the idea behind the video was to kind of hark back to those days where poets would be like shoved in front of kings and queens and regal people and told to recite their poetry. And we just thought it was kind of funny. We thought it'd be funny to kind of go back there. iTCH, this is Life is Poetry.
Like boy racers pulling out on the stunt lines. Stand like soldiers fighting out on the front lines. High like a city boy on Friday, munch lines. Dare me not to drop both knowledge and punchlines. So to the 4 seasons of which I speak on winter of discontent reaches a peak we fall. Till we heat up like a summer, the street rise up quick as an arrow spring in the Middle East. Yeah, I'm the London lyricist. Know me when I'm in the mist. See them when they're running and they're sticking up a something when nothing is coming, it's cunning, it's stunning, they be running, it's materialist. In no seriousness, trying to dumb it. Dim it till we stuck and can't finish, no substance. Gimmicks and liquid, that in the mix now. They use bars to brag about it. Have you got the skill though? I highly doubt it. I will never live again. What I leave behind out there. When life flows like rose from the forest end, I will want to live again.
So you're going to be touring across the middle of the U.S. in the next month or so. How excited are you? And really what you're going to be doing is driving through a giant frozen tundra.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that when the weather is bad, the fans seem to be more into the show, you know, with nowhere else to expend their energy. But I can't help but think that you bring the passion out in all your audiences.
I think I'm super excited to do it. It's my first US tour on 2 legs. I'm very excited. And to be able to kind of, you know, go around and be in like small venues where I'm right up in people's faces, it's going to be so much fun, and I'm really excited about it. And you know, the weather's, I'm good with snow, that's fine. I took a trip down some stairs earlier and I was kind of like the squirrel out of iTCH. But you know, I'm an accident prone person, so who knows, by the end I may not be on 2 legs, but at the minute I am.
Well, let's, you know, knock on wood. Absolutely hope that there won't be any reoccurrences of the last tour.
That's it. But I'm super excited, man. I'm really blessed to be here, and I'm very excited and grateful to be here for sure.
Awesome. So one last question I always ask. Tell us something about yourself that your fans might be surprised to know about you. Something that maybe is a little out of the ordinary. That.
I mean, I'm a very open book, but let me think.
Do you have any pets or?
I do have a pet.
Hobbies.
I have a dog.
A dog, okay.
Called Meatball, a French bulldog cross, and she used to come on tour with us. Actually, she's like super old now, but she used to come on tour with us and. She loved it, and she used to like go up on the stage while the support bands were playing, and the bands hated it, but she thought it was hilarious to like walk up and piss on the stage and stuff. And she was like super punk rock like that, didn't care.
She was punk rock dog.
So now she's a little older, she stays at home. I mean, I should have left a bowl of food out for her actually. I'm over here for like 3 months. She'll be fine. And yeah, I have a dog.
Okay, so there you go. There's everything. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. It's been a pleasure. Really look forward to the tour. Really look forward to the new album. I love your stuff. And we'll be seeing you out down the road.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Why do I keep looking over these old photographs? Like I'm staring through roses quicker than my overdraft. Vaseline smeared over the pain of the past. The shutter clicks on a false memory that will last. It gets me thinking, how did I end up here? Alone at 3 AM, 7 days on a bottle of beer, falling deeper and deeper into the darkness of light. Clutching a picture of orchestrated better times. If only I could be more than the parts of my son. Wishing on yesterday, but yesterday never comes. At least not the one I want haunting me. That's just my smug and gloating imagination taunting me. If we had to try 100 times, it was never meant to be. No matter what I read, it don't let it say to me. You don't get low self-esteem and a snapshot of the